everybody. This is Stevewolbach, your friendly public adjuster. I'm putting together another little clip here to give you some information of how a public adjuster can help you, just to make you aware of things. You know, as a public adjuster, of course, one of our jobs is to teach and pass on information to the homeowner to give them a better understanding of their policy and how the policy applies to the different types of perils, the different accidents that occur around the house, and the relationship to how they are paid on or not paid on if you don't have the right circumstances, which would be proper representation from a public adjuster, somebody like me. Anyway, your friendly public adjuster here. What I wanted to ask, this is going to be entitled, Do You Know? And we're starting out with, do you know how your policy will handle in a situation where you have strong winds blow some of the shingles off of your roof? Or do you know how, again, using the wind, strong winds blowing off some of your siding, how will that be affected from your policy? What type of coverage do you have for that? Do you know when the hot water heater ends up going and filling the basement with water? Do you know when the pot that you've walked away from the stove catches on fire and you get a bunch of smoke through the kitchen, which then gets pulled into your air ducts, and you know that just gets circulated throughout the house then, right? I mean, we're aware how that system works. Do you know how your policy would deal with that? What type of coverage your policy would allow, the limit it has for any type of damage along those lines? Do you know if a pipe bursts in your wall and you have a situation where it's been leaking for some time, and until enough damage happens where you can see the wall itself, the inner wall, is completely soaked and starting to bubble up the paint, then you notice that something doesn't quite look right. Do you know how your policy would cover that? How your policy addresses that damage? I had a situation a while back where strong winds blew the tree over. Only a portion of it went onto the house itself, and it was actually an extension branch that poked a hole through the roof down into the bathroom. It came from the ceiling down, and it was actually not quite 3 feet from the floor coming up. Well, that woke, this happened in the wee hours of the morning, that woke up the homeowner. And before he went to investigate what all was going on, he needed to hit the men's room. So he walks over there, opens up the door, flicks on the light, and all of a sudden he's got this tree branch coming down from his ceiling and stops, you know, as they say, above his kneecaps. Well, he was kind of surprised about that, not to mention startled. Do you know if that were to happen to you? How would your policy handle that? What type of coverage do you have that would be able to help correct a situation along those lines? It was raining that day as well, so he not only had a hole in his roof that the branch was coming down through, but water was running along that branch into the attic, down into his bathroom. So we had a couple levels where water damage was occurring. How would your policy deal with that? Do you know if it would? And that's what this is all about. This is to get you guys thinking. Do you know? I think that's an appropriate title. So I hope that I've given you a little food for thought here. How would you find out what your policy can do? The last thing I would want to see you do is to call the insurance company, have them come out and tell you, well, how your policy handles this, you don't have coverage. There's nothing we can do for you. We're very sorry. This is unfortunate. You better grab a mop and start cleaning. You need to get somebody to cut that branch and get it pulled out of your roof. But we can't help you because your policy doesn't have coverage. Well, that's not the way to find out about it. I don't know. I would want to get somebody that could help me. There's that friendly guy. That's it. Call him. He can help you. What was he? The friendly adjuster. What the heck? Stevewolbach. That's him. Give Stevewolbach a call. He'll help you. No question about it. He doesn't know everything, but he's got a pretty good handle on things. And when he doesn't know, he's got a whole staff that he can counsel with and consult. He'll get the information that he needs. So what I'm asking you to do is talk to somebody now. Let's get to the bottom of this now before these things happen. And I've only given you a few. I mean, there are so many incidences that can happen in your house. Do you have coverage for or don't you? Again, whatever your profession is, whatever the job you do, I'm sure you're a crack. I'm sure you really got a good handle on it. You do it very well. You do it very efficiently. You're very knowledgeable. That's what I'm trying to say. But when it comes to insurance, most people, they start using words like, I think, I was under the impression, I hope. Oh, that's a good one. Well, let's not hope. Let's know. Where do you stand with your policy? When something happens to your home, are you covered or not? That's what you need to know. We're not looking for hopes. I believe. I wish. No. We need to know. You're paying good money for the policy every year. Why not make sure that you are adequately protected? It's only common sense. So, call me, Stevewolbach, your friendly public adjuster. I can look at that policy. I can tell you if you have adequate coverage. I can tell you that, what you're going to be in for if something were to happen. And of course, if you do have a problem, I hope you'll call me as well. But it's always nice. Let's address what type of policy you have before I actually come in when it's already happened. Now that's that proverbial, the barn door is already open. Now we're closing it. I still can help you. I'm not saying I can't. Unfortunately, if you don't have proper coverage, though, and the specific peril, that's right, I use the word peril. I'm allowed to do that. I checked with my mom. She said that's okay. That you don't have the proper coverage for that. Now you're in trouble. Now I have to tell you, there's not a darn thing I can do for you. I can't help you here because your policy is lacking. Ask for some help. This is Stevewolbach. My phone number is 610-213-8820. My email address is Stevewolbach, Wolbach. It's like a jingle. Wolbach. I know. I better not give up my daytime job. At ymail, the letter Y, mail.com. And I will be glad to meet with you. Let's see what you've got. Make sure that you have the protection you need in the event that something happens. Stevewolbach, your friendly public adjuster. I can help people in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. The whole state, doesn't matter where you are. If you're in one of those states, I can help you. Or if you know somebody. One last thing let me mention. If you know someone that's already had difficulty, and they've been dealing with the insurance company, and unfortunately the insurance company's giving them the runaround, has already denied the claim, or is giving them cents on the dollar. That's normally how things are going to go. I can still help, as long as it's within 1 year, when that first happened. So if something that happened last April, I can come in and still help. If something happened at the end of March, it's cutting it close, but I can still come in. Let's say that everything's already over, it's done with. But if we're still within a year, I can come over, take a look at things. Now, perhaps there's nothing I can do for you. And 9 times out of 10 there is. But if you're that 1 time out of 10, then I'll just tell you, and you know what? I shouldn't tell you this. It's not going to cost you a cent. I cannot charge you anything. I do this all free. How about that? And if you don't like that price, I'll cut it in half. How's that? Bottom line is, we always work on a contingency basis. I can spend a lot of time and effort. If I'm not successful in getting you any funds, I get nothing. So either we're going to win together or we're not going to win together. I'm not going to say we lose. We just don't win together. But we're in this together. There's somebody on your side against the big bad wolf. Guys, thanks for listening. I hope I've given you some food for thought. I am giving out good information. I hope that you'll take it to heart. This is Steve Wolbach, your friendly public adjuster. Again, how can you reach me? 610-213-8820. And my email address is stevewolbach@ymail.com. God bless you.